We
All
got new
right,
phones.
welcome everybody. Pardon?
We got new phones, know how to mute it now. So
Oh, good,
it's good. Yes.
good. We're on our second version of soft VoIP phones at the office, so we're figuring out new phones too. Welcome everybody. Week 5, 5010, classroom integration of educational technology. Brandon Harrison's going to be leading the way for us today. We've got Tony watching the chat, but if you have any questions, unmute yourself and turn your camera on and shout it out. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks, Brandon. We'll turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you for being here. It's nice having people live with us, have little interactions. It's not just the 3 or 4 of us talking. So we appreciate those who can be here, being here with us. We know that it's convenient to watch the recording, but we do appreciate the time that you do spend live with us. So thank you for being here.
I read in a comment from one of my students this week that they enjoy the banter between the instructors. And so I'm glad we're not driving you nuts. We'll try to keep it to a minimum. So
we do what we can to keep it entertaining.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, week 5. We're just talking about we're on week 5. Pretty soon we'll be week 6, and then we'll start going downhill in this course. Well, downhill in time, not downhill in content. So just a few things as we get started here. Just we've talked about all of these next few slides already multiple times. We're going to keep reviewing them with you. That assignment doc is right there. Access that if you need to see what's due when. A great resource. The portfolio peer review document, you need to put your link to your portfolio in that document.
Will you follow that link, Brandon, just to make sure?
Yes, it did work. I checked it earlier
today and emailed Carol, and it was not editable again. So Shanda, you were the only one that had your site on there. Gold star for you. But yeah, we need you folks to go to that document. This is actually wanted to have that done by week 2 when you submitted your links to your portfolios to us. We also wanted them here. So please follow that link and just put and Brandon, you talked about it on creating a link to your portfolio instead of pasting in your long Google site link, just typing in portfolio or link and making it a nice link there. So get those in. We will do the peer reviews week 8. That's an extra credit assignment, but that's coming up soon. So I'll shut up. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, so please do that. So Sandra, thank you for being the one in there. Everybody else will do that. We know this week we'll jump in, everyone to get that done. That'd be great to do that. So that is the peer review link here in the slide deck. It's just that link to that document right there. Every week we're doing a seminar on Thursdays at 4. Again, if you can be here live, thank you. If not, make sure you watch the recording. A short reading, maybe some supplemental reading to go along with that, and your discussion post. Please get your original post in as soon as you can so others can reply before it's due on Wednesday. Each week, for the next couple more weeks, you'll be creating artifacts that you will put in your portfolio. With these artifacts, you will use them with your students or share with a colleague and write a little reflection about that experience or feedback you got from a colleague, and then add that to your portfolio. The last few weeks, you'll be doing your project, and make sure you are taking videos or pictures, getting some sort of evidence that you will turn in with your project. And your project is here. Again, talked about this many times. Have some good overview. In my section, people have some good things in place as far as directions they want to go and things they want to accomplish with this project. Again, make your project something that's going to be useful for you, not just something just to get through the class with, but something you can actually utilize, not now when you're teaching, later on down the road. Make it that way. And your project will be due week 11. So with that, you have to start your project. It says here, you have to implement for 4 weeks. So starting it by week 8 or by week 7, so you can get it done by week 11. So keep that in mind as you are getting your project in place. You have a few more weeks before you actually start it. If you have started it already, that's fine. If you're starting it soon, that's fine also. Just make sure it's done by week 11. And then your portfolios will be due the final week, week 12. We have a link to your portfolio. Make sure you link it to on that peer review document so others can look at your portfolio also and provide feedback for you. You will start putting in your artifacts from each week. So last week you did your philosophy, put that video on there, and then you will start other assignments you do for the class, your poster, your learning assessment, what you do this week, hyperdocs, flip videos, and then you'll have a reflection and then a transformation presentation, and then anything else you want to put in there. Make sure that your portfolio is, if you have one already created that you're using in your teaching or for other classes, make sure you have a link on that we can easily find that has all those things on there. So you don't have to create a whole new portfolio just for this course if you already have things created. Just make sure that we as instructors and others who are providing feedback can easily get to those. So Ed Chat, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. A great thing to get your mind moving quickly. It's a fast-moving event. If you haven't been on Ed Chat, it's pretty exciting. A lot of great things going on. And I can't remember the schedule coming up the next few weeks. Clint, do you have that? Do you know what those are coming up? I can't remember next few Ed Chats. But great things, Wednesday evenings, hashtag UT Ed Chat. And that's how you can access what's going on in the conversations there.
Yeah, last night was like they call it trade books, but like pleasure reading books, like non-academic books. It was from Tricia Fenton from UELMA. It's the State Library Association. So if you want to go back and review, just search that hashtag and see what books people mention there. Next week on the 15th, Teachers in Office from Audrin Dameron. I do not know who that is, but that's the topic. Maybe in like political office. I'm not sure. It just says teachers in office.
We have to show up to see what it's going to be. So
that's right.
That's the hook. We're hooked now to be there next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock for Ed Chat. Conferences, not just for the requirement for the EdTech endorsement, but for your own professional development or networking opportunities. These conferences are great. The USET one coming up not very far away, about a month away at the UVCC in Provo. Registration is open. You can check out the schedule there with the link below. Great keynotes are happening. If you are attending USET, we would love to have you volunteer at USET. You get some great swag like a cool t-shirt and a special bag and the opportunity to enter into a volunteer-only prize drawing. And you get the warm fuzzies for helping us put on a great conference. So if you are attending USET and if you have some time, a couple hours during the 2 days that you want to spend volunteering, there's the link right here, the third bullet down right there, and sign up to volunteer. That'd be great. Another conference coming up this summer is the URSA conference, the Utah Rural Schools Association conference. It is in Price this year in July, mid-July. We would love for all of you to present at URSA. Present in either individually or together as a cohort with colleagues. You are doing great things in the classrooms, and we would love for you to share what you're doing with others at the conference. URSA isn't necessarily a technology conference. If you have technology things you want to present, that is great. If you have other things that you are doing in education, with pedagogy or your curriculum or anything that you want to share as well, please share that. But the call for presenters is now open. For a few weeks, it'll be open, and you can learn more about the conference on the third link down right there. It takes you down to see about the conference. I think that's where we are with all the announcements. Any questions from the quick review that we've had? If not, we will move forward looking ahead now on what's coming this week as far as assignments go and your readings and your discussions. So this chapter in the book is chapter 4, and it's interacting with new knowledge. Go ahead and check that out. Some great things there. If you need to go back and look at the element presentations, the last few weeks, 2, 3, and 4, we'll review the elements presented in this chapter. The discussion this week, we're going to talk about spreadsheets. How do you use spreadsheets? How can you use spreadsheets? Do you use spreadsheets? Do you want to use spreadsheets? Anything like that. So that is what our discussion is this week.
I love spreadsheets. I'm a geek though, but they're so
I'm learning to love them and use them better. I'm not a spreadsheet geek yet, but there's always time to learn, to geek out on spreadsheets. So with spreadsheets, that is your, push the button there. With spreadsheets, we are going to look at your assignment this week is using spreadsheets. So you're going to identify 3 standards that you teach or you will teach, or that you want to teach if you're not currently teaching. For each standard, you'll come up with 3 questions. So that would be a total of 9 questions you'll have for this assignment, and you will create this on a spreadsheet. You will create, you'll have your standards, and you create questions with a question bank using spreadsheet. And then you will either give this to students, or you will give it to a peer to review and then reflect upon it as we have done. There is an example here on the slide deck, as well as in the course, of kind of what we are looking at. So here's an art example, which is not a primary color. That's the question. And red, yellow, blue, black. And the answer is the black. Okay, this artist, there's a link right there. But Van Gogh or Keith. So those are the questions. And then the standards, or that's question for, those are the 3 questions for standard A. The same thing, standard B, whatever your standard is, you have question with possible answers and the correct answer. So that is all you're doing. It's nothing, you don't have to create anything new except putting what you already have and putting it into a spreadsheet if you haven't done that already. You can create your own questions or create questions that have already been created based on the standards. Any questions on the questions?
Hey, Brendan.
Yes.
Didn't it say something? I was just looking through that assignment. I'm trying to remember. It said something about if we use like marks or anything.
We're losing your audio, Shanda. Can you put your question in the chat?
Right when you were asking what it was, you went out. So
Sorry, I cannot hear anybody. I think I lost you.
That's what we're saying. We can't hear you either. Thanks, Tony. She might be asking about, and I'm looking at the assignment right now.
yeah, I think the assignment page, we added something in there.
About doing something in Canvas, like a question bank there. And I'm getting there. Give me 1 sec.
Well, Clint problem solved from the back end. So for those who are here live, do any of you use spreadsheets already for anything, or besides just your personal finances, or do you use them for other things, or how do you use spreadsheets?
I just barely started doing spreadsheets because I needed them to keep accountability for students who have been reading at home with their parents. And so I was actually thinking of doing that as part of my plan, but as just a small part of it. And so I've been looking at how to create them. I get so frustrated on them. And so I've been looking at videos. So I'm hoping that this week I will learn even more. So I've created already 2. I've created more, but it's the putting in the formulas that. So I was wondering if, you know how on the assignment we have to write questions, and then does the answer have a formula that goes with it?
Not necessarily.
Not going as far as formulas go, but they are super helpful. And for math, especially. You're in a view only version of that, aren't you, Brandon?
I don't think, yes, I am.
Yeah. So sorry, I was looking at the assignment. What was your question again? Can you use formulas? Are you required to use formulas or?
Oh yeah, just with the, because, okay, I've also created another one for like, to keep a budget for like PTA. And I've never done one in Google. I've done one, I forgot the name of it, but
Probably Excel.
Excel, yeah. And so I was wondering if we have to do formulas, like to do the answer, to get the correct answer. Okay, that's really good.
But if
Yeah.
you want to learn how to make formulas in Excel,
Oh,
we can set up a meeting and I can show you.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Really helpful.
Yeah, but for the assignment, you don't need to do formulas.
Oh,
So,
I also noticed that spreadsheet has like a template. Google Sheets has a template for attendance. And I'm just curious if anybody else in the class has ever used that. I was thinking of doing that for that accountability for students who have read, not necessarily to take attendance.
I have not. I don't know if anyone out there used that. template.
I've seen the template. I haven't used it, but yeah, it's a great idea.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Brandon-
Brandon, if you want to go to Drive real quick, I can show folks how to get to those templates, or you can show them. So when you go to New, up there in the upper left, the little triangle out to the right of each Sheets or doc, they're from a template, and that's the Sheets template gallery. And there are some specific for your organization, or there's under general, there's the attendance one, grade book, assignment tracker, and then a bunch of other great ones there. And they're already set up, and why work harder when you can work smarter and start with something that's already pretty good. And
Yeah.
It'll help by looking at those, they help you learn how to use spreadsheets more effectively too. So
That's a great point, Clint, that you brought this up. This is not just with spreadsheets, but any of the Google apps right here, they have templates for them. So a Google Doc template, or there's the slides template. So there are these templates already created in these Google tools that you can access. So if you don't know about those, they are there, and you can use them, and you can create templates within your organization. So your district can have their own organizational templates created. There's some that we have right there, but the general ones are just created. So great little hack right here, the templates.
Brandon, just a couple of questions from the chat. The first one is, give me just a second, it had to go up. We use spreadsheets with our students after we create our questions. Then what? And it's one of the questions. And I think what Michelle, what you're trying to ask is, yes, we work with these you work with these spreadsheets, and then what can students do them? Again, as it is developmentally appropriate, probably not with kindergartners, maybe older students, working with them to create their spreadsheets so that they can, as Mrs. Healy said, be accountable for them. They can keep their own accountability of what they are learning and what they are doing, to make that work. So it's not all that accountability is not just on your shoulders. Does that sound like a plan?
Okay, what I was asking was, when we create our spreadsheet, then we're supposed to share it with our students?
Oh,
Is that what we're doing?
similar to the other assignments, or with a peer to say, is this going to work?
probably more appropriate to share it with a peer.
Okay.
We've thought about different ways to get it doing spreadsheets with this, and creating an assignment bank maybe isn't the most awesome use of spreadsheets, but at least it gets you, using it and thinking about it for organizing information and keeping track of stuff. But if you If you do want to, like, if you want to learn how to use Canvas quizzes better, you could make the spreadsheet and then use that and there's a tutorial in the assignment on how to build a question bank with Canvas. And then that would give you a little bit more information or knowledge that way. And then Shanda's question on the RISE questions. Yes, if you're using the RISE benchmarks, you just don't have to write your own questions, take them from the benchmarks, but we still want you to do the spreadsheet because the assignment's more about using a spreadsheet than it is about finding questions.
Yeah, questions.
And Clint, you
Is
answered
there a
another.
tutorial on the assignment.
Yes, that was the other one. You shared that already.
There's a template, but not really a tutorial. If you want to stay after, I can show you how to create a sheet and start putting information in if that's needed.
One thing that I use spreadsheets for, because I'm using test banks and Canvas and so forth, but for the assignment, what I end up using them a lot for is like student tracking. For example, one of the things is we work and because my school is competency based, so I kind of know where generally my kids are in all of their classes at any time, or at least I need to know. So what we end up doing is like we will track and I can see if a kid's falling behind. So that way I can connect with the kid, make sure they're getting ahead, set out a plan, and then, connect with parents if I need to, if they're still not adjusting. So we have a kind of a tiered response, and that way we can address it during our PLC meetings. But I guess what I'm asking is, I don't know about necessarily as much using it to make questions and answer, because I have kids all over the place in all of my classes, I'm because it's an asynchronous course.
That's fine. Zach, just to share a spreadsheet that you're using with me if you want to do that. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I was kind of wondering if I could share. If it's not like question and answer based, it's more of like student tracking, for
Yep,
PLC.
that's fine.
If that works.
The goal of the assignment is just because a lot of teachers are like, I've never used a spreadsheet. I don't know why, just to get you some experience with it. So if you're experienced using them, cool. Don't worry about that. Just shoot me one that you're using. Yep. And Shanda, did we get your question answered? Are you back?
Yes, I got it. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. That's fine. Good questions. Any others?
Great questions. Again, if you have questions throughout the week about this assignment, reach out to your instructors. We'll be happy to give you some direction or help any way needed to help you feel not as intimidated by this assignment this week. If there's nothing else so far, we can move on to our element spotlight. Week 5 element. We're talking about cooperative learning. And Jen Davis, and we're going to look at this right here.
Hi, my name's Jen Davis, and my topic today is on cooperative learning. I love using this in my classroom. It's where students work out a problem or a task or an activity on their own, and then get together with their group and share their responses and their answers. And this gives students a very diverse understanding of how to solve problems. There's multiple ways and different ideas in solving a problem or creating a response to an activity. I like to use this when I do STEM activities because it helps everyone to be able to input their ideas without sitting back and being ignored. It also mentioned the idea of using the website Team Maker, where you can randomize teams. And I love this because we all know students want to work only with their friends, but if it's assigned by the computer, then there can be no argument. And so you can use that to split them in groups. And then it also recommended using technology to help them take notes. You can use an app or Google Docs or a video to create notes on what their responses were so that they have those recorded down. And the last thing is to have them teach to the class, and they can use technology as they do that as well. So go out there, work together, and allow your students to do the same. Bye.
And thank you, Jen, for that and having us review the cooperative learning, what that is and how we can implement that into our week. Then we had 3 elements this week, so go back and to the flip and watch the other 2. Take about 5 minutes to get both of them in. They were less than 2 minutes each, so that's good. And yeah, that was great stuff. Anything on cooperative learning anybody wants to add?
Cooperative learning, she mentioned how you have to take notes on Google Docs. Is that where, if you're doing cooperative learning, so are you sharing that document with somebody else, or it's just personal for each of the kids?
I would think if it's cooperative, it is a shared document that the students can create something together, work on something together, or if they want to take their individual notes on what they are doing, they have a project or something that they're working on. They can do their own notes, but yeah, just using the technology somehow as a group, cooperatively or individually, to help just keep the ducks in a row for the students.
Yeah. And then our ed camp last week, and we usually do this at all ed camps, we create a document for each session that is editable by anyone. And then we ask that people in the session just identify one person as the note taker, or more than one, to take notes for the whole group that are then available to share for anyone who's in the session, or anyone who missed that to go to another one and review them later on. So just a great way a good tool for that cooperative learning. Yeah.
I will a lot of times have students work cooperatively because they will want to work on the same type of assignment, work towards the same standard competency at the same together. So what I'll direct them to do is get a shared document and then actually have them color code, so I could, Joe is green and, Susie is red or whatever color. So that way that way they can kind of go back and see who said what they learned, get important points, and then they can use that to kind of build up as they study together. So that's helped too.
Great idea. Thanks for sharing, those who shared also. If you need to go back and review the other elements, the link is here. Besides this week's elements, the rest of them will help you as you're through the reading this week. Like I said, weeks 2, 3, and 4 does review a lot of this week's reading. So next week, here's stuff for next week. Make sure that you have your elements in by Wednesday, even though the course, we are going to show it on Thursday. Make sure you have it in on Wednesday, so we have time as instructors to go through and view them and put them where they need to be put. So have them these are due by the 15th. Here's your names. If you have missed any, make sure you go back into the sheet and sign up and to get them in. And when you have completed your element presentation, just make a note in week 11. So it's just a quick check off that you have completed it and it's done, so we can give you the grade for that when time comes.
And I just autocratically changed the due date for those, for all of them. They'll be due week 8, so you need to have them all done. We had it due by the end of week 6, which is coming up pretty quick, but that was a busy week. We've got a bunch of other things to do that week, so moved it down to week 8 to hopefully make it a little easier for folks.
So if you're doing the element on week 11 or 12, it's still due week 8. So make sure you have everything done by week 8. That'd be great. And now, any questions or concerns?
None additional in the chat, Brandon.
Hey, well, we thank you for being with us again. Please reach out. Anything we can do to help you. Here's our contact information again. You should have this. You see it about weekly. Please let us know how we can help you, and have a wonderful week. Enjoy the sunshine before the snow comes again next week. I will stop sharing my screen.
I'll leave the recording going if there's any questions. And is there a need for me to show you how to create a sheet, start dropping information in it?
Okay, yeah, okay. So for part of my project, if that's okay, if anybody else wants to do another one, but I was looking at the attendance worksheets, and I don't know if that one will really work, because they just have late, excused, and unexcused. And then I looked at the other templates, and they had assignments, and it's just basically reading, taking the books home and reading them, and that they get it correctly
You
done.
can create your own, what they call, I think they calling them chips, Brandon, those little option drop downs to show whatever you want. Let me,
They call them.
I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Let's see.
Did I start with a blank?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. So you see in my screen here?
Yes.
All righty. So one of my favorite tips is, instead of going to Drive and creating new and I can do this with docs, slides, or go to sheets.new. Just put that in the address bar up there, and Google will create you a brand new spreadsheet and save it in your Drive for you. So 5010 demo. And so along the top, so you wanted to do like a weekly reading, or whoops, sorry, what was it?
Yeah. Okay. So I would like to create a sheet for every teacher so that I can share with them, because I count of all the students, kindergarten through third grade. I do have some fourth graders and a few fifth graders, but I want to be able to share with the teachers who's reading, who's not, who's turning in their packet of books, but really not even reading them. Because obviously they do care, but there's just a parent not there. And that way we can also reach the parents. The students have accountability. The parents are kind of communicating with the teacher, and obviously I'm communicating with the teacher. And then also I'm working with the school librarian, where we reward students after they read for about 4 weeks. And then, there'll be another award if they read for 8 weeks. And so they get rewards. So I was wondering if there was a way that I can also have them for every week, and then how would they add?
Okay, so weeks instead.
Yeah.
So you build your basically making a nice table that you would maybe do on a chalkboard or something like that. The nice thing about sheets is that if I can establish a pattern, I just highlight those cells, and then this bottom right-hand corner has a little box that I can drag across, and it will try to continue that count for me. And then same thing with this. And so then for each week, I can go insert a drop down smart chip. Nope, just a drop down. And so what I want each, for just an option to check those ops, or what were the options that you wanted to have or check in or choose from?
Oh wait, how did you get that again? Sorry.
Under insert drop down.
Drop down. Okay. Okay.
And so when it's done, right? Option 1, option 2. So whatever I want to put in there for options.
Okay, so options would be read, so like a check mark, so that they read. And then the other one is they turned it in, but it was not signed. So I guess not signed. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I can make those different colors.
Maybe another one, or yeah. Oh, okay.
And done. And you can go back and add those as well. And if I want, I don't have to do that in every single cell. Check this out. I can go whoop, like that. And then I should be able to copy it across as well. Boop, boop, boop. And then each week, read, didn't read, read. That makes sense? I know I did it fast. But that's the nice thing of once you get in there and start using them, it doesn't take too much time. And this is still being recorded. So this will be on the end of
Yeah.
on the end of our week too. And then once you have that, you can come down here to the sheet at the bottom. And that maybe is at the bottom of the screen here. But I can duplicate that sheet. Once you get like the one that you want, you said you had multiple teachers that you wanted to share this with. You can duplicate that sheet. And then so this will be Harrison's sheet. Right. And so Brandon's got the same one, and it copied like everything. So if you wanted to make sure it was clean, you might want to undo that choice. I don't know how to undo it. Can you undo those, Brandon? Do you know? Or I can just copy over top of it. Just be sneaky and just recopy them. Anyway. And so then again, just copy those sheets out so that each teacher has their own sheet. And then when you're ready, come up here to share it and just give them access. You can't share a single sheet with a single teacher or person, but just say don't copy it or don't change each other's sheets or whatever else. But then you've got this 1,000-foot view of everything that's going on and able to track everything all in the same place.
Okay.
Does that help? I know it was fast.
Yeah. Is there a way that I can do like a formula of if there's 4 when they add across, when there's 4 to let me know, or to so that they can.
With the drop downs, that's a little tougher to do.
Oh, okay.
But you could make a new sheet. I think that's that button right there. Let me just duplicate it. In fact, I'll just change Brandon's. We'll get rid of all these. Edit, delete, values, get rid of all that. So let's say, you can make a key, like 1 is red, 0 is not, or 2 is red, 1 is not, and 0 is it's not signed or whatever else. And then out here, and then I'll just fill in some scores. 2, 1, 1, 0. And so you could come here, and so if it was below a certain amount, you could equals. If you want to do any math inside of a cell, you start with that equals sign, right? That's just telling the sheet, okay, here comes a formula. And it's trying to guess what you want to do. Do you want me to add those up? The sum of those cells? Sum of cell B2 colon H2 means, do you want me to add up the values in B2 to H2? And that's exactly what I wanted you to do. So 7 it is. And so this is our total up here. And then you could do, like, again, if you want to copy that formula down instead of building it 15 times, you can just copy it down and it'll change for each one. It's going to give me the sum of that entire row. So they're very smart. They kind of keep up with you what you're trying to do. But then you can have some fun and do what's called like conditional formatting. Format and say conditional formatting. And so what it would do is you want to choose a range. So if the cell is equal to, let's see, greater than or equal to, and what's the, so if we're doing 2 is optimal, 7 weeks, and that's what we want. So we'll just say if it's equal to 14. If it's equal to 14, then it's green, right? Add another rule. Oops, I didn't change the color on that one, did I? And then if it's less than or equal to, or if it's between, let's say it's between. If it's between 13 and what's the danger, like 7? Then I want the color to be, I want it to fill in red, right? And then add another rule, and if it's below, if it's below less than 7, then I want it to be like screaming red, right? Like terrible red. Or maybe I make the other one orange. Done. And so there's my values. I want to edit that one again. Let's make that one orange. So they're kind of in the danger zone, and I might want to talk with those guys. So then let's say here, the value is 14. Oh, I didn't change it I didn't copy them down. Sorry, let's see. So I'll do this, copy that down again. There we go. And so now those are all red. When that one is 14, it's green. If the sum comes up and it's 11, it's that orange. If it's 6, then it stays that bright red. So just some visual cues for you, to do that. Or you can just conditionally format each one of these cells and copy it across. And if it's a 0, turn it red. If it's a 1, or, you can do it with text as well. It's just, if it's hard to do, like if I have 4 of these, that's in there. Is empty, text contains. Yeah, you'd have to do a custom formula that would take me a little while to write. But you could do it with text, but doing it with numbers is a little bit simpler. So watch that again, give it a try, shoot me a question. But it's something you could create for sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
Yes, very much. Thank you so much.
Yep. And I'll share this with you so you can just play with this and because I don't need it.
Oh,
What's your Gmail address?
It is SHAWMELA.
Shamela Healy
Mm-hmm.
at gmail.com. Is an editor. Yep. Okay. Send. There you go. So tear that apart, have fun with it, do whatever you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. Surely appreciate you. Thank
No
you.
problem. Yep.
Thank
Any other
you, Kat.
questions? Yeah.
Thank you.